Hi, everyone. It's Lydia with the Avanti Wellness podcast and YouTube channel. And today I'm sitting here with one of our Avanti community participants, and she's quite new to the community. I'm so glad to introduce you all to her. Her name is Lindy, and she's from Australia. Hi, Lindy.
Hi, Lydia. How are you?
I'm doing great. I know it's early in the morning for you today, so thank you for meeting with me at this time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So for any of you who are curious, her name on her tag says Limitless Lindy, and that's because she has a YouTube channel as well. And if you resonate with the kind of information that we're going to talk about today, I highly recommend you go check her out and more about what she's doing over on her channel. But for today, we're going to talk about how she found the Avanti Wellness channel, what she's been doing up until the point of finding the channel, and then what she's doing today. So, Lindy, would you take a moment and introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, look, I'm Lindy, 52 years old. I've got two beautiful daughters, 33 and 21, and live in Melbourne, Australia. And I've been overweight all my life. Since a kid, on many, many diets. I've tried everything, you name it, I've done it, failed everything. And when I was 25, I decided to visit the doctor, see what my options were, and he said lap band surgery. That's a cure, that'll fix you. Like, no worries, I'll give that a try. Had the lap band surgery, didn't help. I had a lot of bad habits. We used to eat, being from an Italian background, I mean, we love our food. My nonna was the best cook, and there was a lot of comfort eating. When you're celebrating, you eat. When you're grieving, you eat. It was just like the crutch for everything. And that's kind of the mentality or the habits that I was sort of raised with. And when things go bad in life, you just grab whatever's close and you just eat. So I got into trouble with that. By 50 years old, I had exceeded plus or minus 800 pounds. I have no idea because the scale just said error. And 6 years prior, I was waiting at the doctor's around 700. So I was well over the 700-pound mark. So that was devastating. I had type 2 diabetes, I believe. Had all the symptoms for it. I never went to the doctors because I was housebound for pretty much 6, 7 years of my life. I just hardly ever went out. I couldn't fit behind the wheel of a car. If we did go out, I would squeeze into the passenger seat, and my husband couldn't drive very well because I was in the way of the gear stick, and it was just too difficult. I couldn't walk much, mobility, balance issues, sleep apnea, neuropathy in my feet. I was literally going blind, I think from the high sugar levels, and depression and anxiety. I'd go to bed every night and I'd wake up crying because I woke up. I didn't want to be here. And then on my 50th birthday, um, my mother was diagnosed with cancer on her 50th, and I just thought, oh gosh, what's going to happen when I lose my mum? And when I turned 50, I'm like, something just sort of snapped in my head. My daughters are here watching me killing myself, slowly killing myself. I need to change this. I need to be here for my daughters because they need their mum. And I decided I have to do something. So my sister introduced me to keto diet, and I started doing that. But yeah, you got to measure your food, and lots of different keto recipes, keto lasagna, keto cheesecake. That's not fixing the root cause, the why that I'm like this. It's just mimicking these comfort foods and making them look healthy. So I kind of failed with that. And then I discovered the carnivore diet, just eat meat. And I thought, this is crazy. But what options did I have? Like, I tried everything else. So I thought I'd give it a try. And yeah, 2 years carnivore now, like as of the 3rd of January was my 2-year carniversary. And I'm down to 275 pounds this morning,
Yay!
and
Yay!
still on my journey, but it's just been a lifesaver. And yeah, this is the lifestyle for me. It's what I needed to do, is just, restrict and keep things really simple and sustainable for me. So that's my health journey.
Have you
As
struggled have you struggled with like the sugar aspect? Because you said you were, in sugar, so you've given a lot of that up. So do you see something and then like have to play mind tricks to make yourself not fantasize that that's good?
At the start, yes, obviously, because sugar is very addictive, and it did take a little while to get rid of that. I now have that food freedom that I've never had at any time in my life. I can sit here in front of a block of chocolate and not touch it. I just don't want it because I just know how if I have that, I won't be able to stop. It will just start that binge eating cycle again, and then I can spiral and go back to my old ways so easily. So, yeah, I'm just not tempted at all. And if I do have cravings, it's usually for a steak or meat, which is a little bit.
That's funny.
And but yeah,
I can relate. I just want to connect with you because we were talking earlier before we hit record, and we were just saying how we just want to have a conversation between two girls, two ladies. But I can relate to that feeling because when I was 30, I really struggled to quit smoking, and I quit smoking, and it was the hardest thing I ever attempted to do. And at that time, I couldn't even go into places that would have like margaritas or coffee shops because those would be my triggers for wanting to smoke. But at the same time, after time had gone by, now I look at a cigarette and I can't imagine, putting it in my clean, healthy throat.
yeah,
Like it
yeah,
looks like poison. And in fact, I'm allergic to it now. Like when I get around smoke, everything starts to react like poison, poison, don't do it. And I was like, I can't believe I did that for 15 years, of my life. And so I understand that feeling of looking at something and thinking, no way, Jose, I am not going there because it had too much power over me when I did allow it in my life. So some people can
yeah.
take one, and not be moderate about it, right? But not me, not with smoking.
Exactly, and I think that's a really good point because you're either an abstainer or a moderator. I'm definitely an abstainer. I cannot have these foods around me all the time because if I know if I start, I just won't stop. And whereas other people can moderate and have that healthy balance and live their life and be comfortable. And I applaud those people. I wish I was one of them, but I'm not. And I understand that and I accept that now. So I do have to take these extreme measures. People do say it's very an extreme diet, but what's the alternative? Just
Yeah.
try and be a moderator, which I've tried for 50 years and failed, um, or do carnivore, and I've got my life back. So there's no decision for me,
Yeah.
it's easy, easy. And it's your life is restricted at that weight as well. So to me, this isn't being restrictive. 800 pounds is restrictive. So
Absolutely. And it's all kind of perspective, right? The way you look at things. I
yeah.
do want to brag on you a little bit. I don't know. This is our first time to connect. We've connected through chats, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I want to brag and let everybody know that you're a little bit of a celebrity in the carnivore movement. I mean, they're sending you from Australia over to Austin for a convention, and you were going to be kind of on stage and highlighted. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh gosh, I don't think I'll be on stage because I
Oh, you're
said no.
not? I bet you will. I bet everybody's going to be talking about
No,
you.
she said, "Let me know in the morning if you want to come up on stage and you can sit with the panel." But
Yeah.
I'm normally a very shy person, and that for someone like sitting on YouTube sharing their life, that is a bit hard to believe. But yeah, I was a very shy person, and I'm starting to opening up. But yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. And when you
But
think about
yeah,
all the people that you're going to help, then it gives you motivation to get that courage, mustered up and, see what you can do.
yeah. Well, that's it. I've gone from the depths of despair, doom and gloom. My life is over. I literally had one foot in the grave. I didn't think I was going to last much longer. And now I'm out driving in my car. I've been on a cruise with my girlfriend, going out with the family. You know, my husband and I go on date days like every week. We go on a date, and just getting my life back. It's just been amazing. So I want other people that feel that, they've given up. There is hope. May not be carnivore. It could may not, there could be anything, but there are options, and you just got to find what works for you and reach out for support. I've always done things on my own and not wanted any help. And it wasn't until I found a supportive community and reached out for help that I've been able to maintain and keep consistent with what I'm doing and get my life back. So support's another, and that's why I love your community.
I was going to say, that's a great
Oh.
segue. That's a great segue for you to share how you found the community and everything.
Well, exercise is not my thing. Like, I've never liked exercise. I do have a walking machine, like a treadmill my mum used to have, and it's been in my bedroom for the last 15 years collecting dust. Every now and then I'd jump on it. I was like, it's such a chore, and my mind will be wandering. And then it just got to the point where I was too heavy to even walk on it because the mat would just like slip. It just wasn't even rotating. So I was like, well, that's a useless piece of thing now. I have a vibration plate under my desk because my work, I've worked all through this, all email based. And I have this vibration plate under my desk because I have lymphedema and lipedema, which have been very serious. My legs were so big, I couldn't even put shoes on. They just didn't have shoes that my feet could fit into. So I had this vibration plate. I've had it for about 4 years under my desk. And when I'm working, I have that going literally 20 all the time. As soon as it finishes, every 10 minutes, I click it back on. And that was helping with some of the fluid. And I broke it. I was moving my office around just about 3 months ago, and I lifted it up, and it has this cheap little plastic rim around it, and it snapped and broke the top plate. So I can't stand on it anymore, or like it still kind of works, but my foot keeps falling into the mechanics in the bottom. So, and I was like, I'm going to need another one. And then a video on rebounding came up on my YouTube feed, and I thought, oh, I used to have one of these back when my kids were little. Like my oldest daughter, when she was tiny, I had a little one, and we used to play on that. And many, many years ago. And I just remember it being really fun. So I started binge watching videos on rebounding. But then I'm a big girl, and I'm like, these are all little, beautiful looking, physical type
Fitness
ladies.
gurus, yeah.
What am I going to do jumping on one of those things? And then I've got so much loose skin. Like, how is that going to happen? I'm going to be jumping. I'm going to knock myself out with my belly or something. Like, that's how I felt. I just like, for 2 months, I just binge watch videos, and I had it in my cart, would remove it. And that was my cycle for such a
Or the
long time.
rebounder, you had it in your
For
cart.
wanting to buy one, and then I just remove it thinking I'm not going to be able to do that. And then I came across your videos, and every morning I'd wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning just to watch you do your little rebounding and just talking away, and the people in the chat, and I'd join in. Eventually I joined in. Like, I watched from
Wait, how many times did you watch before you actually said anything?
Yeah, I was a stalker. I'm sorry, I admit
Everybody
it.
says that. Everybody says that. Like, everybody approaches it very leery. Like, what is she doing?
Yeah. But I just fell in love with you, and I'm just like, this is awesome. Like, you just gave me that motivation to give it a try. And then you were holding onto your treadmill as a like to stabilize yourself. I've got one of those. I can use that. So
It could be
I
used
was
for
like,
something. Right.
yeah, no longer a dust collector. I've now got a nice clean spot on the
Bar.
handle.
Yeah.
So I started using that. I bought myself a rebounder. I've had it for a month now, and what a difference. So I still use this stupid vibration plate under here, but the rebounder, just doing that 5 minutes, like I'll do the 2 minutes with you in the morning, and then I keep going for another 5 minutes and doing a bit, bigger jump. I'm now doing like star jumps on it, like not, my feet don't leave the mat.
Is that like a
But
jumping jack?
with the
Like a
arms.
star
Yeah,
jump?
like
Okay.
a jumping star with my arms, but I've still just got the gentle bounce. But I can do that. And I can feel the muscle burn in my legs and in my torso. So I know it's doing something, it's working. And the drain, like the fluid in my limbs is so much, it's just gone. Compared to having the vibration plate, I still was very swollen. This has actually made things better. So now I've actually moved it into here. You can see it's just behind me. It's a little
Yeah.
Jump Sport Pro. So in the morning, I get up and I come in, and before I sit down, I have to do my 5 minutes. And then if I go to the toilet or go and grab myself a hot drink or whatever, before I sit down, another 5 minutes. I'm not allowed to sit in my chair until I've done 5 minutes. And that's been my new routine. And it's been amazing. I love it. But things I've noticed since rebounding is that if I got on the floor, I couldn't get up because
Before.
I've got no strength in my legs, in my core. Like I've been carrying all this weight for so long, but I just got no muscle tone. And it's just, I can't remember the word, but everything deteriorates.
Oh,
I've
atrophy.
Actually, yeah, I've been like my whole body's kind of atrophied. I just had enough to get me around from the hallway to the toilet so I haven't really got much strength in my body at all. And like climbing stairs and things like that have been difficult. Since I've been rebounding, and it's only been a month, I can now get on the floor and pick myself up. Might not be very graceful, but I can do it.
I liken it, for me, I liken it to a giraffe. I kind of go, and then back in the
But
day.
I know, and something simple like that, which everybody takes for granted, like who can't get off the floor, right? Well, me, but I can now. My daughter, she's got this huge van. I'm currently having to take her to market, pick up she's a florist, and we go to the flower market. Her van is like a bus. You've got steps to get into it. And she would come and pick me up, and I couldn't get into it. I'd have to climb
Yeah,
this little step
lifting.
ladder because I
Mhm.
couldn't lift I can get in there, and I'm driving it now. I fit behind the wheel. I climb into it, climb out, several times throughout the day. Not a problem.
It's the littlest things that can make us happy, right?
Yeah, just because I've got strength in my legs, and that's what that muscle burn is. Like it's a little bit painful because I'm not used to having any pain, but it's a good pain because I know it's doing something positive. And doing so much more in my life now.
What about sleeping? A lot of people report better sleep. Do you have that yet?
Oh, I sleep well anyway with just the diet changes. I don't sleep a lot, like 5-6 hours, and then I'm up and doing my thing, but I'm fully energized. But I haven't noticed, I still sleep like a baby. So
What about the sleep apnea? Did that go away when you lost the weight, or do you also breathe better with the rebounding?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I do a lot of Wim breathing as well, just that technique. And with the rebounding, it's definitely helped the stamina in my lungs as well. I'm not so huffy and puffy. First 5 minutes was difficult, I won't lie, but now it's becoming a little bit better. I could probably talk now while I'm actually on the rebounder, and then I'm putting the arm movements in there. I just keep wanting to get a little bit more involved and a little bit more riskier as I go.
It's so funny you say that, because some of the comments in the beginning of my journey, because I'm on like day 116 or something, and people
Yeah.
were saying, I was just impressed with you because you could talk and bounce at the
Yeah.
same time.
I couldn't do that in the first few days for sure, and even now, like, towards the end, I'm still a bit huffy puffy, and I'm just like, "Okay, time to get down, sit down for a bit," and then I go off and do my thing. But I just feel like, I don't know, you just feel really energized after doing a workout. Like a
Yeah,
5-minute workout on a treadmill and on the rebounder, and you
rebounder.
just think, yeah, your head's sort of clear. And it's like, what can I do next? Where do I go? And I'm just so productive after it. It just seems to, I don't know, wake you up really well, gets all that lymphatic fluid going and pumping, and you're raring to go. Whereas
Yeah.
sometimes you get up, and I usually feel like, hey, but it's just it's promoting extra health or promoting extra benefits
It's
for
the
sure.
oxygen. I read the book.
Yeah.
I read the book twice, the one called The New Miracles of Rebounding, so that I could have a real good understanding of what was happening, because I'm one of those people that if I don't understand the why, then I'm less likely to like really latch onto it and continue to do it. So understanding all the benefits that my body, so one of the things they say is that because you're getting oxygen all throughout the body, through all the cells are waking up, because when you stand on a little bit of an unstable mat surface, your body has to get to attention and be like, yes sir, yes sir, what are we going to do, sir? Let's all make sure Lindy
Yeah.
doesn't fall over, sir,
Yeah, it makes sense. So, yeah, diet was a big part of my journey, but the rebounder has just escalated that even more. And they
Yeah.
just go hand in hand. Once you're feeling well nutrition wise, whatever that may be for you, and you get to the point where you want to start moving and finding something that you're going to enjoy, because this is something I want to incorporate into daily life, and I have, and I can see this is going to be ongoing for me. Having to jump on a treadmill or going to a gym, like, I'm not comfortable going to a gym. That just seems like torture to me. Being in front of all those people with all this bumpy skin and stuff, it just doesn't appeal to me. This is something that's manageable. I can do it. I'm getting results and feeling fantastic, and I feel good that I'm actually moving, because I know movement's important, but when you're sick, and I was very sick, you don't want to move. But now it's like, give it to me. And I don't just do it in 5 minutes in the morning. I do it every time I sit in this chair. I have to jump on it. That's my new thing. And so I could be doing it up to 6, 7 times a day, just 5 minutes. That all adds up. And if I'm not home, or I sleep at my daughter's occasionally, and I miss it. Like, I look forward to coming home so I can have a little bounce again and just get that feeling. It's like a dopamine hit, if you like. Yeah, I love it.
So, by being a part of the Avanti community who's also focused on this, we're like your gym community, and we're in another continent. We're all the way over here in the United States, and you're in Australia, but also we've got people in Italy and in other, I see Africa and India has looked at the channel. So, there's people all over that are enjoying in the possibility of creating a better return on their investment for the time they're investing on the rebounder. The benefits are so much greater, I heard, than any other workout. I mean, who said that? I don't know why they said that. There's a lot of benefits, but I mean, I'm just repeating what somebody else said. It was in a Bellicon video where they said it gives you more benefits than any other workout. So I'm taking
Yeah.
it, right? So
Yeah.
the other thing I wanted to say is that you were mentioning, like when you, and I can relate to this, when you don't move your body, you lose it. When you don't use it, you lose it. We've always heard that term. And it's so true, because once you all of a sudden start to decide you're ready to make something happen again, build some new muscles, have more stamina. I can relate to what you said. You said that when you turned 50, you kind of got serious about your health. Well, for me, my mom just passed away in May, and I turned 55 in October, so like 5 months later or whatever. And I just realized that my mom was a wonderful example of health, and she reversed her health at age 70. And I've always told myself, when I'm really, really committed, I'm going to do what my mom did. And she went from like my size now to a very healthy 150 pounds, but she walked every single day, rain or shine, she walked. And I told myself, I'm not going to walk every single day, rain or shine. That's not my
Yeah.
personality. So having the little rebounder inside the house where you can hop on it for 10 minutes, because I don't love exercise, I figured at least 10 minutes a day. And that's like a 30 to a 40-minute walk every day. So that's where the connection for doing it daily has come in to, like, what's the possibility if we just do it daily for whatever amount of time you can do it? What is possible for our bodies to build muscle and even tighten skin?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. That would be lovely, but
There is
yeah,
some kind of collagen piece to it.
my mum used to walk as well. She was on the treadmill and she'd walk around the streets, around the block and, yeah, an hour and 2 hours at a time, and she lost a lot of weight as well doing that, but it's just something I couldn't do. I didn't find it sustainable, and once I got up to that weight, I just was scared of falling because I had really, really bad balance, mobility issues, so it just wasn't an option, but this is doing great, and yeah, I love it. It's been a great find.
Have you ever done your bone density scan to see where your bone density is?
I'm hoping to do that in Austin. I think they get all the, DEXA scans and all those kind of scans there, and I'm gonna sign up for everything. I want one of each. So,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome. And by the way, I
yeah.
told you on chat, Lindy, that I'm 2 hours drive away from Austin, and I'm gonna try to make it work. Is it over a weekend or is it during the weekday?
Yeah, it's, 3 days. I believe it's over the weekend, but I'll be
Okay.
there for 10 days, so I'll be there for the
Okay,
full week.
good. Well, I
Yeah.
hope that I'll be able to find you in Austin. I might come for like a 24-hour window and spend one night kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, so anyway, is there anything else that you want to, I know that you told me before we hit record that you want to inspire the carnivore community to consider. What do you want to say about that?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of people out there with lymphedema, and lymphedema symptoms, and we've been talking a lot about the vibration plate in the community. I've had mine for 3 or 4 years, and, I mentioned it to a few others, and, it just seems to be going on from there. But the rebounder's next level. When you get to that stage where you wanna do extra movement, the rebounder is it trumps the vibration plates. And it's so enjoyable. Like, as I said, I've got it here, and I pop a music video on, and I just bounce to that for like 2 or 3 songs, and there's my few minutes, and it's actually enjoyable. Or I actually put some of your in them because I miss a lot of your morning ones. I'll pop that on just because I love the motivational sort of speech as well. So I do the 2 minutes with you, and then yes, but I can't remember. Alexa, can you another 5 minutes? And then I do another 5 minutes with you on that one. And so I listen to what you have to say, and I just love, it's you've got your diet, you've got your exercise, but anything self-improvement, I'm all in. Like, I want to hear motivational things, quotes, and just be inspired, because I think whatever you're doing, we're all in this journey together. If you're vegan, carnivore, sad diet, like, it doesn't matter as long as we're all on the same journey, and that's to find optimal health and be limitless, which is how I got my name. I want to be limitless. I want to have a great life. I want to be here with my family and not be have my family sort of look after me, I want them to ask me for things and not
You wanna
yeah.
be able to help them when you're 75 and 80, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't wanna be
Yeah,
a burden on them, and I'm
yeah.
not going to be anymore. I'm doing everything that I believe is the best for me, and, getting my life back, and they're so proud of me as well. So, yeah, everything's aligning, and,
How about your husband? Have you inspired him just to be generally healthy? I mean, was he already doing healthy things?
no, it's like me, we were pretty bad together. He's obviously nowhere near as big as I was. He's got a little bit of a tummy, but he's doing carnivore now, and he's loving it. We do carnivore at home, but he still has his treats when we go out. He still has his his iced coffee, or a few things here and there, and that's okay. Like, He can moderate, I can't. So, but
Right.
I accept that, he enjoys it, and I'm not gonna take away his guilty pleasures. He is more than welcome to do that. Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and one of my daughters, she's now started carnivore. She's been carnivore 5 weeks now. She's type 1 diabetics, diagnosed when she was 10, and she's 33 years old now, and she's having a few complications from really bad management. Not her fault. She's been trying to get some results from the doctors, and they've kind of dismissed it. And carnivore's actually stabilizing her levels. She had really, really bad levels, and I think it's all hormonal. And now I think the diet change has actually made it a change there, and her hormones are stabilizing. Her levels are coming down back into the normal range. She's almost blind at the moment. She'd lost her sight, her eyes hemorrhaged, and it's all diabetic complications. And they're like, oh, you've been diabetic 23 years. That's what happens. But no, she's changing that. She's actually getting some of her vision back again, and her levels are now stabilized. We're confident she's going to, she's not going to be 100% cured, but she's reversing some of those symptoms, and I'm sure she'll get most of her sight back again, and it won't be as bad. So she's a work in progress. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, I have hope for her because Elaine in our community just did her interview, and she had a blocked occlusion of the retina vein. And her dog, it was a 6-year-old injury. And the reason that the eyes get affected by diabetes is because the insulin affects these tiny little sensitive blood vessels behind the eye. And so Elaine shared in her video, interview, that one of her benefits is that the doctor saw new vein growth going like around the occlusion and wanting to connect back with bringing blood flow back to the eye. So he never had seen that kind of a healing. And she's only been rebounding for 6 weeks, kind of like you. And she's it was immediate. Like the only thing that was different from the previous 6 weeks ago appointment was rebounding, and that is bringing oxygen and blood flow to the areas.
I truly believe that. I did actually watch the interview, and I suggested to my daughter, we should get you a rebounder, Carnivore plus rebounder, because she's on her feet a lot, but she's not having that movement. I mean, she gets swelling in her legs as well because she's on her feet being a florist. It's a pretty hard physical job. And just to loosen up all her muscles and bones and just get that oxygen going through, I truly believe that would be a game changer for her as well. So, no.
If you watch that video that I posted from Bellicon on the community tab, it talks about when you're on the down bounce, that's when the body has a squeeze. And then when you're on the upside of your bounce, it's when the body releases the fluid and everything pushes out. So same thing with blood flow, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, pump, pump, pump. And that doesn't happen when you walk on the floor, with gravity. This is going against gravity. So that's why our bodies are pumping, unlike when you're just walking on a treadmill or around a flat track in your neighborhood.
Yeah. And I noticed last week, being Valentine's Day, I was helping at the florist quite a bit, on my feet a lot. And I came home, I was so sore. My back was sore, everything was aching. So I did some light rebounding, and it's almost like it just loosens all those muscles. They were all tight from being so rigid and, walking from here to there, but it actually helped with the muscle pain that I had. So whether that's just putting the oxygen back into my muscles because I was just so stressed, and the pressure on my back kind of relieved. I get very low back pain. It relieves that as well, just by doing some gentle rebounding. So it's a miracle. It's been so transforming, and it's only been 1 month. So give me another year, and I'll definitely have to come back, and hopefully I'll have less loose skin and
all that good stuff. Yes. Wouldn't that be wonderful if you could just, somehow suck all that up and then use it, and dissipates, and it's like magic. It goes away. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. But it's just nice to actually find an activity to actually that I enjoy doing to get that movement in the day, because I know I needed it, but nothing else could do it. This I'm actually enjoying. So
And the whole thing about the community, it's about like having something to kind of glean onto. I mean, sure, you could do it yourself. I mean, many people do. But if you have something to kind of connect with other people who are doing what you're doing, and we're sharing stories and we're sharing support, then you're not alone in the, experience. And that's where you said that you've learned how to appreciate community, and you're glad you found one.
yeah, well, I tried Carnivore for 6 months, and it wasn't until I actually reached out to the community and joined a group that I was actually able to sustain it. Just going into we have little Zoom meetings like this and what you do in the Avanti, and just talking about everything and then hearing other people's stories. It keeps you motivated, and just hearing the inspiring stories. It's like, I want to be one of those people. And even like I did, once I kind of learnt everything I needed to learn, I left the community, and then all these things started entering my head. And then your goals start to become looser and looser. Those goalposts move, and it's like, I'm going to spiral. I need to get back in the community. And same with this. I think I love watching your videos. They ground me. I was like, I've got something to look forward to in the morning. I come on, pop your video on, do my little bounce with you. And that's a guaranteed every morning that I'm home that I will be doing that bounce. And I get to listen to that motivational speak. When you do the interviews, I'll have a bounce as well. And just keeping inspired by hearing all the benefits that people are experiencing. It just affirms that this is the way I need to live. I want to be these people. I want to be one of those motivating, inspiring person for someone else who's going through a difficult time. And that's kind of why I started sharing my story as well. I want people to be able to see that. And if I find something, I will never promote something that isn't of benefit to me. And rebounding has definitely escalated my carnivore journey and giving me sort of new limits. And I don't want to ever go back to those old ways. So I'll only promote things that I really truly believe in. My vibration plate, I'm sorry, but I've seen the last of it.
It's taking a
It's
back seat to the rebounder.
Yeah, it had its purpose in the day. There's no way I could have jumped on this thing at 800 pounds, but so it's had its moment. It's looking really worse for wear now, and the rebound has now taken over because I've escalated my health and my mindset, and physically I can do something a little bit more,
It's
more
evolved,
impact.
and it's always evolving, right?
Yes, exactly.
What it
Yeah, and I've I've seen some of those videos where they're doing like massive star jumps and the legs go up on the. Oh, I don't think I'll ever get to that stage. I'm quite happy with my gentle bounces.
Yeah,
But
I mean, one thing I'm kind of trying to figure out, because I'm growing a lot of muscle, is like, can I just do what I'm doing forever and it'll just continue to sustain growth? And, so we're going to find out, because I'm willing to take that experiment all the way down to the end, because I'm not in a hurry. I don't need to rush anything. I'm really trying to just
mm,
figure it all out. I want to mention something else before we go. You have a lot of people that know you and follow you that have been similar scenarios like you, where they weigh maybe more than a weight capacity of a rebounder, for instance. And so one of the demonstrations I do is I sit in a counter height bar stool that's not quite a high bar stool, and it's not a dining chair. It's in the middle, and it's a perfect height for my knees to be completely balanced and ergonomic design, to put my feet on the rebounder, and I just pound the rebounder and the mat like this. And there's a lot of people out there, wouldn't you say, Lindy, that could do this exercise before they graduate to standing on the rebounder?
absolutely. If I had have known about that, I would have definitely invested a lot earlier. But I only just recently saw your videos doing that, and I thought, wow, that could have yeah, it could have been helpful back in the day, and probably would have been better than the vibration plate. Like, yeah, definitely.
And
I
I'm
would
not,
definitely. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I'm not scientific, so I don't know exactly what it's doing, but it's definitely creating oxygen. It's creating muscle. I get a little sore in my leg muscles, my hamstrings, my glutes, my quads. So obviously, when you feel those feelings in those areas, you know you're working the muscle, right? So it's really isolating. And your calves are the pumping mechanism of the lymphatic system. When you move your calves, that's when the pumps push the lymphatic system, your lymph all throughout the body through your calves, you know?
Yeah. And you mentioned in one of your videos about like an exercise where you are doing something with your calves and lifting your legs, and that reduces your blood pressure or your blood glucose levels as well. So
Yeah,
that will probably have a similar impact if you're doing that with
exactly.
a rebounder. You're lowering your blood glucose levels. So
You've been
yeah.
listening.
I have. I told you I'm a stalker.
So yeah, just to refer to that, if anybody wants to go find that article, there was a study that came out, I think it was last summer, from a university in my town, from the University of Houston. And it was a study that showed that if you just keep your feet on the ground and you lift your heels like this, just pop your heels up with your toes staying on the ground. It's called a soleus muscle push-up. And
That's great.
it's a muscle in your calf that's behind the calf, and in between the bone and the calf muscle is a soleus muscle. And they said in the article that it doesn't pull glycogen stores out of the muscle cell to use sugar. It uses the sugar in the bloodstream first or something like that, so it'll use it all up. And that's why you can go for a long time and not feel
Mm,
fatigued. You can just keep doing it. So if you
yeah.
don't have a rebounder, you're on vacation, do your soleus muscle push up and get it in.
Sounds good.
So anybody who's wants to connect with Lindy, why don't you tell us all your little social media spots where people can find you?
I'm on YouTube at Limitless Lindy and Instagram at Limitless Lindy, just the 2 platforms. It's enough for me.
I know, and I particularly want everyone to come find us over at YouTube, and the reason is when we engage in the same place, we get more out of it because everyone's congregating in the same space, and we can learn from each other from the comments and everything. So thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning for you and afternoon for me, Lindy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been lovely, and yeah, hope we can connect more and try and get some more carnivores over, because I think this would be just that thing that they need to escalate their journey as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're welcome. And the thing that I feel like saying before we go is, as you were describing, like what you see in the Avanti Wellness Channel, really what I'm trying to provide for people is that there is hope, because when you lose hope, that's when things get really bad. You've got to feel like there is a possibility for something better and a better tomorrow. And that's our sense of hope. And so we're creating at the Avanti Wellness, a podcast channel, that feeling that there can be a better tomorrow. And we're going to help you stay motivated and inspired to keep searching for your better days. Right?
Excellent. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully I'll see you one of these Sundays at the motivational meetups.
sounds great. Thank
All
you.
right. Hang in there. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.